I feel like it depends on the season of life that I'm in, but during school, most of my activeness is just like walking a lot for like between classes and stuff like that.
Right now, yes. I'm taking a lot of kinesiology classes, so I have like physical conditioning, Aikido, which is a martial art, and fencing. And on days I don't have school, I usually go to the gym with my friends.
I wish I had the time.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys both said. I don't have the time. I'm usually working, so the most physical activity I get is through work. On top of that, it's also depending on the season, because during the summer, I tend to be working more outside. So like my physical activity is like through the charts. Like, it's never consistent.
Yeah, that's the same for me as well. I think all the activity that I do is probably just walking around because of school and stuff.
Really? Oh, and I mean, I forgot, but if you would like to introduce yourself to each other, so when we have conversation later.
I'm Noah.
I'm Eliza.
Alex?
Felix.
Hola.
All right, thank you. On to the next one. All right. If and how regularly do you consume vitamins or supplements? Whether it be pills or just vitamin water. I guess that's an option.
Pretty much just when I'm sick. Just something like that.
I take like a supplement for like, it's like biotin for your hair and your nails every day, and vitamin C every day. And iron because I have like anemia.
Almost never.
Growing up, my dad made me take vitamins, so I take around like 3 or 4 a day.
When I was younger, my mom used to make me take vitamins all the time, but like now, I don't think I've had one in like years.
I used to take the Flintstone vitamins. That was my thing when I was younger. Okay, on to the next one. What is health and fitness in today's culture, do you think? We don't have to go in order. Whoever, first person that.
I feel like it depends where you're from and where you're living, and like certain age group, like all that stuff like falls into factor in physical activity. So when you're a child, like they try to like indicate it to you through a PE, but like after that, when you're in college, depending on your major, like you're kines, so you're gonna take more physical activity courses than I would. So I feel like it depends like where you're at in your life.
I feel like the baseline is pretty much just making sure that you're healthy enough to like get around and like function.
I feel,
And there's definitely like different levels. So like there's some people where like going to the gym and like eating healthy or like a lot of protein and stuff is like their like religion almost. It's like really important to them. And then there's like the middle kind of where like you go to the gym sometimes, but it's not like everything you do. And then there's kind of like the lower end, which would be like you're not as concerned about it, and it's kind of not anything that you do normally.
Sorry. It really depends on where you live, because like where I'm from, there's no like trails everywhere, and a lot of trails, and like even the school has an aquatic center that like students can use. Yeah.
But where are you from that they don't? There's
Oh, Covina.
Oh, okay. Right. Which one is that one? Oops. Okay. And the next one, narrowing it down, is if you have heard, what is your perception of the company GNC? And if you don't know anything, or if you don't know what that is, please let me know. I will vaguely explain it. Okay. Okay, so GNC is a vitamin and supplements company. So it's they're usually like small independent stores. You'll see them like at small strip malls and not like major ones, like the Simon malls or anything, but they're kind of just vitamin supplement stores. No one has any idea.
No, like I mentioned before, my dad, he's a veteran, so he has to take supplements, and he'd go to vitamin shops, and GNC was like the main provider, or like the main thing you'd see when you walk in. I remember growing up.
Nice. So it's a childhood memory for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And since a majority of us don't know of the company, if you just think of any vitamin company, so in this example, GNC, what
comes to mind when you think of a typical GNC customer? So like just a typical person that goes to a vitamin and supplement shop.
Probably like a middle age to mid to about like 70.
Mm-hmm.
Because like my grandma goes to like vitamin shop quite a lot.
So like 40 to 70
Yeah.
that age range?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that, because like there's some people that take vitamins like a lot younger than that, either just because like it's how they grew up, or it's like they have a deficiency with something, but like usually that's more where you start to see it.
And there's a few like gym rats that like get whey protein and everything.
I could also see like maybe younger, like 30-year-olds, kind of like people who are really into yoga or like
Yeah.
things like like wellness-based things like that. I could see that being a place they would go.
I like that answer. I didn't even think. All right. And how would you compare their products, GNC's products, to any other company that makes the same products? So, like, just think about, like, for you, I'm anemic, so, like, your iron pills to a different one. Is there any specificity that, like, you go towards one brand or another?
No.
No?
I have
It's
no
just
idea.
whatever? Okay.
Well, GNC kind of seems less like a fad place, like where like some nutrition shops look like, oh hey, we're hip, we're cool, for like the
Mhm.
yoga people.
Yeah.
Whereas GNC seems more professional. Like they're not all like colorful and everything, so like you kind of have more trust.
Social media. And if my phone notifies me to where it'll tell me how long I've been on my phone per day, and it's not too late sometimes.
I feel that.
So how active are you guys on social media? And like examples of which ones you use the most.
Probably a couple hours a day, mostly Instagram.
Yeah, I definitely use Instagram the most, but it also depends on like what I'm doing in life at that point of how often I'm on it. But yeah, maybe just a couple hours a day.
I barely go on maybe an hour of Instagram and like Snapchat a day. I don't really post anything, so I don't really go on social media.
I just found myself using social media a lot, like probably like an hour to 3 hours within like all social media platforms, like Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, even add YouTube, but like I didn't really go on YouTube a lot. But most recently, for the past like 2 months, I like took it off, due to just like seeing how much time I spent like wasting, like watching something that I feel like just controls so much of like people's daily life.
I think I used Instagram, YouTube, and Snapchat more than the others. And I'll probably say about 2 to 3 to 4 to maybe 5. I think because it's not like I'm on it like 5 like hours at a time. Like if you probably added like bits and pieces together, it might add up to that.
Okay. I believe you. All right. And do any of you guys buy any products that you see on social media? All right, let's start with you.
Oh my gosh, I used to be really bad because when I think I was like 14 or 15, which sounds so bad, like I had like a debit card at that age, and I think I would see like tea, because I'm a really big fan of tea, so like any type of tea, and I'll see like celebrities like advertising tea, and I would buy it, and like hair vitamins and stuff, and all of that. Sounds visual.
All right. Yeah, I know that fact. All right, does anyone else purchase anything? It's just yours.
I don't
have
do
once,
anymore.
like for presents really.
Oh.
If I see something that I'm like, oh hey, it's someone.
I've done that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like pretty rare though. Like
Yeah.
I maybe do that like once or twice a year. I see something pop up, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's perfect for that person. And then after that, I don't buy anything else.
Is it just like ads that pop up, or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And how do fitness gurus on social media affect the way you perceive your health?
One of my former coworkers actually is a really big like fitness person. She's so on top of it in her life, it makes me feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, it's like disturbing. She's got so much figured out. Like, she does like, I think she basically works like 3 jobs and as a kid and like just like she's crazy. I don't know how she does anything she does. It's super impressive. But yeah, pretty much she's always like, oh yeah, like she's running her own health fitness brand and it's like you can be so much better and it's like, but instead I'm sitting at home eating a hamburger. Like it's usually more how that goes.
Personally, like sometimes it's a little bit annoying for me. Like I think especially just for like the people that like people that are my friends that like are advertising things, and so they're like, oh, buy my protein powder that like is paying me to like post about it, and it's kind of like, I don't know. It's a little bit annoying sometimes. It's like I just want to know like how your life's going, not like buy a product from you because you're my friend, you know. So.
I feel that like it's very much just on advertising, and they also happen to work out a lot. But there's also a few, like my roommate's starting to try to be one, or my old roommate, and he just really likes to work out a lot, and he just posts himself doing anything like squatting and benching. So there's just those that are just enthusiastic about it, but like honestly I don't pay attention to them.
Well, I would see like the ones who are just like, who are just really physically like Greek physique, like just like crazy, like amazing bodies, like gifted as well. It's like I'm never gonna get there, but yeah, seeing that kind of stuff is like kind of motivating if you're like watching the motivational stuff, but it can also be like not motivating at the same time, depending on like how you see it.
Sometimes it can be annoying, like she said, seeing like people on social media like doing like the adverts and stuff for the products, but they are not into fitness, but they're advertising fitness products. And you think, oh, they look this certain way because they've been taking these products or they've been working out, but they haven't been doing either. They're just advertising it because like of the money that they're getting out of it. So it can get annoying, but you know.
Okay, so snowballing off of that, like if you guys see people like your friend that advertises their tea, their protein, whatever, like does that make a difference between how he was saying that just people that are just, or like your roommate that's just into fitness instead of, I guess, more popular people that are branding themselves or like trying to sell you products?
I mean, it just kind of irritates me either way. Like it's just like it's just an advertisement. Whether it's coming from like if it's coming from my friend, it's like, oh no, like you're doing this now and I'm gonna have to deal with it. Or it's just coming from like some random popular person. It's like for all we know, you don't even do that. You just got a really nice check to post it. Like it's like either way, you know it's an advertisement. So it's like you just view it through that sort of lens.
Yeah, I feel like if they're
Okay, any more opinions on this side? You spoke your piece. All right. And by making their social media presence bigger, do you think GNC could increase their popularity? Granted, how you guys are saying that it annoys. I mean, not that it annoys everyone, but like that you guys.
I feel like no. I feel like
No.
this point's like overplayed, like that type of marketing.
Uh-huh.
It's like we've seen it already. It's like you use social media to like, you know, it's like a conception, like it's overplayed. You gotta like step it up some way.
Also, like part of it is like almost none of us knew what GNC was. Like if you saw that pop up on your feed, you'd just be like, oh, it's another one. Like it's like certain companies like have a big enough name that like when you see an ad pop up, you're like, oh, it's for that company, and then maybe you'll pay attention because like you've heard about it or like you've seen good things. But for like GNC, you just be like, oh, I wonder what that is, and you're like, oh, it's just another new pop up vitamin company. Like it's like it just sounds like something you've already heard before.
Nice. Okay. And granted that not many of you take vitamins or supplements, how much money would you be willing to spend on them, if any?
For how long? Like
Monthly?
Whatever
So, like,
answer
a
you would like
month
to give
or
me.
Monthly, a year, like, what's the?
Give me one of each.
Per month, probably like, if I really wanted to get into working out, like $60 for like whey protein. But that's about it.
I don't know. The vitamins I used to take for like hair and stuff were like 30 a month,
Mhm.
and I think that's it. I don't think I'd ever go higher than that a month. Yeah.
Alright, we're stuck at 30.
I buy vitamin C when I'm sick. That's about it.
Just emergency?
Yeah, I know. Just get some emergency and I'm set. That's all I need, at least for now.
So like $10
Yeah,
every
that's-
couple
that's-
months.
Yeah, every few months. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good estimate.
That sounds good.
Well, I'm like really, really cheap. So basically, my parents just buy the big bottles of things from Costco, and then I just like fill up little bottles. Like, so I don't know like how much I would actually take vitamins, like if it weren't for me just like taking them from my parents. But yeah, so maybe like $20 a month or something.
Yeah, I don't have the money to buy vitamins, but like I said, my dad already has like an account, so he just throws my
So you
stuff
two
in
just
there.
taken from your parents.
We're college students. We've only got so much time left to
I
do
know.
that.
That's very true. All right, so I mean, I guess I know the answer to this, but since we are all broke college students, what is your perception, if you would elaborate more, on the pricings of not just GNC, but GNC and like advertisements that you guys see for these vitamins? Like I know how you were saying 30 for a month for like your hair. Is that steep for you? Is that a lot?
I think that's like normal for like hair vitamins, but if it was like whey protein, like you would expect to pay a lot more for that because it's supposed to be special protein, so you would expect to pay more for that.
Yeah, like I said $60, but that's because I kind of know the pricing. But that's the reason why I also don't buy it.
Because it's 60
Because
bucks.
like that's typically what it is. So and I don't really want or use it at all because it's just a weird tasting milkshake in the end.
Yeah, I feel like it's just not like high enough of a priority
Mhm.
to like spend
Yeah.
a lot of money on.
Yeah, college students. I get it. And do offers for members attract you to a special brand, which I can say answer is no. But say in a world that we all took vitamins and we were all healthy college students, like would you be drawn to a brand that would send you emails or like text messages and be like, hey, our iron pills are on sale?
Yeah.
Yeah, like iron or hair pills or anything.
They let you know when it's happening beforehand.
Yeah.
And if it's not like, all right, you got 20 minutes left, you got to run down for this specific price.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
if it's like, oh, for this week we have iron pills half off, then yeah.
Yeah, it's like stressful when you open Postmates and it's like there's 5 minutes left to get in the party. Pick it now. It's like no. It's like I want to take some time. Chill out. Yeah. But like memberships and stuff where you get sales are always nice.
Mhm.
Well, especially because like vitamins and stuff, ideally you'd be taking them every day. So like, if they know that you buy like iron pills every month, and then they know when you are supposed to have like run out of them, and then they say like, oh, after 6 months you get like a free refill or something like that. If you're like a member, they know like what you are interested in, and what you would want, and how often you would need like refills and everything.
Okay. So like if a company, if GNC were to send you like a customized catalog and like keep track of like since from your membership like what you were purchasing, like that would be something that would entice you, like with deals and like, oh, this is on sale, we're getting this new product in.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And do loyalty programs attract you to any company, not just ours? And if so, are you a part of it?
Like a rewards program.
I really like them personally. Like, once I find something I like, I usually just stick with it. Like, what do you call it? I got that like AMC deal for over the summer where it's like you can see 3 movies every week and you get like rewards with it and stuff, and I freaking loved it. Like, it was great. I was going all the time.
Sometimes it would like, you would need to buy a lot of stuff to get anything back sometimes. Like in a ridiculous amount, like a year's worth of whatever you would buy from that store. And like, but like little ones like, oh, Supercuts, here's a stamp card. Those, I like those because like, say you forget it, you could just combine it later on. Because it's more convenient than like pulling up an app. Oh no, there's no Wi-Fi here. I'm screwed.
It's very true. I always go to the Wi-Fi. I
Oh.
don't like I don't use my data.
With rewards, I have like one with like grocery stores. I feel like rewards only people tend to like apply to them. It's like more like needs like gas or not really like specialized like certain things. Me personally, that's my mindset on it. But I feel like vitamins themselves, they're not advertised enough. I feel like in modern day society, because they're good for you. Like you can't. I mean, obviously you can take too much of anything, but they're good for you. And they're not like advertised enough where it's like, oh, like you should apply for our reward system because in the long run, like it's benefiting you.
Like any rewards?
Subway. I think that's it. Subway, the money I would have spent anyways, you just rewarded me for spending it, so it's good. It's nice.
Right. So, since we talked about social media, what type, if you feel like letting me know, what kind of accounts do you follow apart from like your friends? Like you obviously don't like the fitness group. So like what type of accounts or like people, companies attract you guys to follow them? And like what about that company or them entices you? Anyone?
Updates, just like, I follow this one store in Covina because sometimes they'll just be closed randomly, but they'll post it on their Instagram like, hey, sorry, we're closed for this reason today. So it's like informative more, but people-wise, it's mostly just like people I think that are like interesting or funny.
Photography majors, so I follow a lot of photographers or like companies that, like, you know, Canon or National Geographic that are involved with photography. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think I follow, a lot of the stuff I follow is just for work, like because I'm a reporter, so I just keep an eye on like what these different organizations are doing. But the stuff I follow that's like actually just for me to like relax is usually just like my friends, funny accounts, and like sometimes it's a company, like if I really like it, like sometimes like a game developer or something like that I'll follow to see what they're making, something like that.
I don't think I follow any like stores or anything, but I mostly follow like photography accounts and like videography accounts and stuff that I can learn from more than like stores. I don't think I follow any stores like that.
Yeah, I agree. I follow people that like influence me, or like my personal interests. Like anyone here who said anything around the table, it's like things that rely around your life. But yeah, I used to follow the store until they closed off for good. So like it's like now I can't buy anything from there. But like yeah, just following stuff like that is informative. I feel like that's some social medias already use like that, such as like Facebook. It's like, oh, here's some groups, you can do this, this, and that. And some other social medias are like becoming that way, but it's just like how the person themselves are using the media.
And then, if you are looking to follow a new account, or if you're watching a YouTuber that you already follow, most of them do ad reads, so like, do them having too many ad reads, or like on Instagram, having too many ad posts kind of like put you off to not follow them or unfollow them? Or what is your thoughts on that?
For me, it's mostly if they try to hide it, I would like be less inclined to follow them. Like, oh hey, I just got my new GNC vitamins, and instead of just like flat out saying like, oh hey, GNC paid me, here's their product, and like explaining it.
I mean, if we're being honest, I kind of just, the way I like or not like pictures is really just like if it's a nice picture and if it's like visually appealing.
Mhm.
So that's pretty much the main. I usually don't even read the comment. I'm just like, oh, that looks cool. Yeah.
I think sometimes if they, I don't know how to explain myself. If I don't even know what I'm saying. You can carry on.
Right, any other one? Does too many ad reads or hidden ad reads put you off?
Yeah, it's kind of irritating like when they just post about it constantly. Like everyone, like there's certain pages that only do like once a week, like once a month or something like that. And there's people who do it like 4 times a day, and you're scrolling through it. It's like, oh, it's the 4th ad from that same person. That's irritating.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like it's better if it's more like authentic.
Mm-hmm.
In the aspect of like I think a lot of people watch stories nowadays. So like if you see like their story, like not like they're trying to sell it, it's just like it's there, like naturally, and you gotta catch on to it then probably. But like the whole selling it, like how you mentioned, like oh I just got like it's overdone. And then nowadays I think it says like this is a paid program where they have to say it nowadays. So it's just like off-putting. It's like saying like that's like your opportunity to skip the video. So, yeah.
Alright, so back to our company.
Might Google them and be like, oh, like this company's stealing your money, like don't buy into it. So it's like it's not so much the product that's concerning as like whether or not you'll get it.
Like, sorry, I just brain farted. Like, sorry.
That's
You
fine.
just skip me.
You're totally fine. I also forgot to mention that. So, I will move on to the next one. Do you see any trends, if not happening in the fitness world, like the small accounts or like your friends just like kind of popping up out of nowhere or like around school? Any fitness people? I know I see a whole bunch of fitness people in school.
Yeah, I feel like people who are really interested in exercising are now making accounts specifically just for that. Like my roommate, like he was posting his stuff regularly on his like normal account, and then he like put a like poll like, should I start a new account just for exercising? And like I just kind of skipped it because I didn't care. But yeah, it's just like people who are really interested in exercising like are more inclined to probably make their own nowadays.
Anyone else see any trends going on?
I agree with what you said. I know people from like, I think all of us do, like people from high school who've done it. In the work environment, at least for me, I've seen people do that. But like they're happy doing it because those people like do exist. Like products do exist for certain people, regardless if like we fall into that stigma or not. Like those people like support one another. I know this guy who's like a bodybuilder. And he doesn't come off as one, but like if you follow his personal account, it's just like straight him like happy. He's happy, and then like his support is just like same people who like advertise these certain things. So like the people are there who like fall for these products. But me personally, like I don't like find interest into it.
Any trends? I think back home, people who are like into fitness a lot tend to make their account, like their fitness accounts, and then start like their own like personal training. What would you call it? Personal training, like DM me if
Company?
you want. Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
DM me if you want to, like if you want me to be a personal trainer. So it kind of like that's been popping up a lot.
Yeah, I feel like that's a trend that I'm gonna say. Okay. Anything else? On to the next one. So if, from your day-to-day, does buying natural products, how like everything is like non-GMO, plant-based, free range, does that entice you more to buy those products than, say, a burger at Carl's Jr.?
I would say probably not, because that usually means it's more expensive in the long run. And usually, from like the classes I've taken, most of the time, those factors don't really matter too much. But that's just personally me. That I just don't care if a product has those, like, non-GMO, or I forgot the other thing you said.
Plant-based, free range.
Plant-based.
I was just listing them off.
I mean, I have a value for that for sure, and my mom is very, like, I don't know, I was, like, vegan and, you know, really into, like, eating healthy stuff, and so, like, I kind of have learned, like, companies that are better with that in general, so not necessarily products, like, if the product says, like, non-GMO or whatever, like, I'm more concerned about, like, what companies I'm familiar with that are good about the way that they treat animals, if they're, like, a meat company or whatever, like, but it also does depend on, like, kind of where I am financially, because usually, yeah, they are more expensive. So if I'm in a place where I can spend a little bit more to get something that has less chemicals, maybe, or is more natural, then I will, but I'm not always in that place.
Totally understandable. And when you are shopping, does the quality of the product like dictate over the price, or like would you stick to something that you already know, regardless of the price? So 2 questions in one. Like if you found something that was better but slightly more pricey, would you get it, or would you stick to something that you already know?
It depends on the amount of use I'm going to use it for. Like,
Yeah.
if it's significant, like, I had to get a new cable recently because my last one was like MacGyvered, like I had to cut off another one. And I just got a new one, but I had to pay more for it, and I'm happy with it because it's like easier to use than the last one.
Yeah, like, I think the bigger the purchase, the more I care about how effective it is. Like, if I'm buying a new computer, I'm willing to splurge a little bit more to get the better thing, because I know I'm going to use it, like, all the time for, like the next 2-3 years or something like that. But if it's a product that's, like, for example, like vitamins or something like that, where I know I'm going to use it and they're gone, I probably wouldn't care as much.
Okay, and since GNC does have they have their online section, but most of it is kind of like store-based. When you go shopping anywhere, what does customer satisfaction mean to you? Like, what do you need to get from employees to have a good shopping experience? And I know that kind of varies from, like, if you're going shopping for clothes or going shopping for food. So any examples on that?
I think if I'm going out to buy something like vitamins and I don't have that much knowledge in it, the employees knowing what they actually are, not just actually just selling. Like, if I ask them, like, what does this actually do and what does this ingredient do, like, it's nice to know that they know.
So, like, for vitamin-wise, you would want them to help you
like
out some more?
Like I'll need help to, like, know which one's better for this or which one's good for this. Or
Also just being approachable. Like, some people just have a demeanor about them that you're like, I don't know if I want to, like, go up to them and ask where this is. But yeah, just being able to just walk up and talk to them, like, hey, I don't know where this is, can you help me?
Like, yeah, very welcoming. Just don't be rude.
Yeah.
That simple. Like, you're having a good day or not, just don't be rude. That's good customer service regardless.
A nice person.
Yeah.
Okay. And since everyone is shopping online more, how could GNC show that they have good quality, say, products instead of, like, how would they make you think that they're not a fad company?
Like when you go on one of those fad websites, that like you can kind of tell it looks like it was like just built. Like there's like 6 items. Like there's not a ton of reviews. Like there's a couple, and they're all way too good. Like there's no one complaining about anything. It's just like 3 5-star reviews, and it's like that's all that's there. But like if I go onto a website and they have like a really diversified thing of what they're selling, and then I like click on the product and there's a lot of reviews, like good and bad, that's how I know it's like, okay, this looks slightly more realistic.
Okay. So you need a variety.
Yeah,
A good website and a variety of reviews.
yeah, because like a lot of times like you'll go on a website and the reviews they'll be like 2, and it's like, well, how do I know that wasn't just people who made the product go ahead and comment on it? Like,
I mean, it's kind of like when you're writing paper and you go on a website and you know automatically, like, I can't use this as a source because, like, of the way it looks, right? And so you can kind of tell when you're going to buy something from a website whether or not you can trust it. But then also, like, I think a lot of really good websites will have lots of information about, like, this is how we were founded and, like, this is all of our history. And, like, even if you don't read it, like, sometimes it's not, like, just to know it's there. It's like, okay, well, this is an established company and, like, they have like their mission on there and everything like that. And then also, yeah, reviews are really important as well.
Or just being like clean cut instead of like all splashy. Like I don't know how to describe that really on a website.
Mm-hmm.
Like GNC's logo is like a square with G and or G blah, whatever.
It
But
does look just like the GMC logo though.
But like those fad ones usually have like bright colors and like I don't know, that just seems more like they're just trying to get your attention to sell anything, whereas GNC's trying to like inform you to buy their products.
I don't know. I feel like if they were to reconstruct anything, just like simplicity is key. Like people's attention span isn't that as big as it used to be. Like it has to be very informative, very straight to the point. Like, but it also has like catch your eye.
Nice. So clean cut, but pop.
I like a slight pop, not
Yeah.
too much.
That's why it's the red box. Okay, and then since the GNC products are available also like on Amazon and on their website and in store, did seeing a product more on like company sites like that entice you, not even to just buy them, but just kind of like to look at it if you have free time? And why? Just because it's a established company?
yeah, honestly, I feel like I just kind of trust it more. I buy way too much stuff on Amazon. It's a problem. Like it's just so convenient. It's like right there. It's like you don't even think about it. You're like, oh, that was $40. Shouldn't have done that. But yeah, it's just kind of like nice to know that you're buying something that's not a scam. Because like once you get scammed once, you're just like super critical of it like forever. Like you always check the site and you're like, I want to know exactly what I'm getting into before I order from you.
Also with Amazon, it's like if you have Prime, you could use that, which would also benefit you. And like maybe not. I don't know if GNC has like free shipping or not, but if they don't, I would be more likely to go to Amazon for supplements or yeah.
Well, they are on Amazon, so they do have Prime if you buy it through there. So does the convenience of having it on websites such as Amazon, I know it entices you to buy it, would entice you when you're older, because we have established we're all broke. Would it like entice you to buy it more just for like the convenience of the purchase? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're just waiting for it to show up in a few days instead of actually.
Entice you to buy it more just for like the convenience of the purchase. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're just waiting for it to show up in a few days instead of actually making the decision to go drive to a store.
And then how you mentioned earlier, like having someone there to explain it to you, like would, even though it's so convenient having it on Amazon, would you still, like would you then spend the time on your own looking at what it would do? Since like that convenience kind of takes away that part.
I think some, like, I don't know, I haven't been on their website, but I think some websites do have like,
The customer, the pop-up thing.
no, they have like the bit where like they tell you like everything about the product and like what's in it
The
and what it
product.
does and da 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 da. If it didn't have that, I probably wouldn't bother. Like, because I need to know like if, yeah, I would need to know what's like in it and stuff.
What it's gonna benefit
Yeah.
people.
If it's like something new that I'm trying or I'm interested in, I would probably go to the store
Store.
specifically to ask personally the employees on their view of it.
I mean, I think though that reviews still would give you a lot of information because like, even though there's some people that like aren't really that educated that leave reviews, like some people like really do their research when they write the reviews, and then also like, I mean, at the store like they're gonna tell you kind of more probably what you want to hear, or like they'll say like, oh, this product will do this, but like there's no really way to guarantee like that it'll actually do that for you, but like the reviews, it's like real customers who have actually tried it and like who can tell you whether or not it worked for them.
Okay, so do like the online customer reviews matter to you more, or how you were saying, like a personal, like whether it be someone you know or the worker at this store that you go to at the GNC?
I mean, it's probably about equal.
I can see that.
Yeah.
If it's someone I know, I feel like I would trust them a bit more because like they're not, I know them personally and I can judge how they judge things.
Nice. Okay, let's see. So, where is my other one? There we go. Okay. No. There we go. Okay. So, what does all of this, like how there's kind of the different cultures in between, like all of the social media and like people in school, just in between everyone. Like, what does this mean for the definition of health and fitness to you guys, from what you guys follow? Like having the people advertise, whether it be GNC or whether it be their own thing. Like, what do you see it going anywhere from all these little ads and fitness gurus and pop-up shops?
Like going somewhere like is there like a trend between the social medias?
Or like, do you see fitness becoming a bigger thing, or is it already a big thing? Like, what's your idea on the culture of fitness and vitamins and supplements
I feel
and
like
whey protein?
fitness products are bigger. Maybe not fitness itself, but you see a lot more like vitamins or protein shakes or basically any like exercise stuff like more, but I don't necessarily see as many people doing it more or know that many people that get it more as a result of that. But like Instagram feels more like it's for people who want to go work out at a gym, whereas like if you see it on Facebook, it's more of like, it feels less like intense, I guess.
Like, it's more home video?
Yeah, it's more homey, I guess, instead of like going out to a gym specifically. That's just how I feel about it.
So like Instagram is more kind of like gym rat,
Yeah.
and the rest of the world is just calm, calm yoga people.
Yeah, because on Instagram, like you could watch their stories and they'll post like, oh, just got done with my workout and stuff. Whereas Facebook, like you can't really. I mean, I think are there stories on Facebook?
There are.
There are. They're pretty bad
Are
though.
there young people on Facebook though? Not really.
Yeah. Plus, not that many young people use Facebook anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, all the attention shifted towards Instagram. So if there was any on Facebook, it's already gone by now.
And then with like the pop-up of all these Instagram fitness accounts and all their ads, how do you think it has changed? Like, us that view their, what is it? Their content, or just like people who are in that world? Like, do you think it has made a big change?
I mean, I think that the biggest change is this, that like this is some people's career now. Like people can actually make their entire living on Instagram, just like posting advertisements for companies, or like advertising their own like I don't know, what's it called, personal training stuff. But like that wasn't really something you would see like 5-6 years ago.
I think people just figured out that we're bored enough that we'll watch anything at this point. So they've just kind of gone with it from there.
I think that fitness on like social media is kind of getting a lot bigger than it was 5 years ago or 6 years ago and stuff, and people are making more of a living because there's this fitness person that I follow, and she, like, I've been following her for like 2 years or something, and she's like, I've seen her start from like just making like just her account to like make it like it's her career now kind of thing, like making her money off like Instagram, because she has like fitness guides and nutrition guides, and she sells them and all of that. So she's made her living, and like people who see that are like, I can do that too, like I'm into fitness, and then they make their accounts, and then like more people just trying to get into it as well.
Would anyone like to? I can't speak much on it, but like how people can make a living off of that. What is your guys' thoughts on that? I always think about that, but I never speak to anyone about it.
I think that's cool, but not cool because we're the ones helping them make money, because we're just looking at the pictures and they make money per like and per view and all of that. So it's good on their part because they made their living actually doing something that they like, but on our part it doesn't look good. Like it doesn't look good.
And I think it's cool and all, but like I feel like it also sets like a bad example almost to a lot of younger generations. Like a lot of like my little cousins and stuff like that, they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna be famous on YouTube, and like that's gonna be where I make all my money. And it's like, yeah, not everyone gets to be a YouTube star. There's like 10 of them who actually turn a profit. Like, and so like I feel like it sets like a bad representation, because like I actually knew people who I graduated high school with who were like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna go to college, I'm gonna get famous on YouTube, and it was like, oh, like you're gonna be unemployed and that's not good. So like I always like was trying to think of a non-rude way to tell them that almost, but like but it's just like it's a cool thing, and like it's great for the people who can pull it off, but like I feel like there's sort of this false idea that's like, oh, anyone can do it, anyone can be a star, and it's like, yeah, the few who get lucky are, but like there's thousands of others who are broke living on their parents' couches that did not get that dream fulfilled.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are like desperate to get to that point too, and they're like willing to not like sell themselves, like I feel like that's a weird way to put it, but like
yeah, it is
definitely like because it's their image, like that's what's making money, and like some people are so desperate to like get to the point where their image is worth a lot that they're kind of like just giving themselves away.
Yeah, but like at the same time, oddly enough, it works. Like these people, they keep doing the same things that they're doing like on their social media. Like people are gonna like continue to follow it and like grow a big enough following, regardless if it's like you agree with it or not. Like they're gonna like they're gonna blow up in time. They can like if they're consistent with it. Like you said, you follow this lady.
Yeah.
I've seen like people on YouTube. I feel like we all seen someone like who like you follow, like artists as well. Like following, like the following grows if you're consistent with the work. There's just like those people who like everyone thinks they can do it, so they have like this stigma of like everyone thinks they're like an Instagram model at one point. You know, like when we were in high school, like you know, like those photos, like everyone was having photo shoots. Like it's just like small little fads. Like there's some people who do it differently, who do stand out, which makes them have like a different following. I feel like.
Yeah.
But like other than that, there's just like a certain like image or like something fits that's like certain social media platform.
But I think that there's definitely like a right way and a wrong way, like,
Yeah.
or like a better way. Not maybe not right, but like a better way. Like some people like their pages pick up because like people genuinely like the content that they're producing, but then other people like will literally buy, follow.
That works still, like, and like what that means for like society as a whole. So like there's good parts of it, like the world's like super connected and like you can find out about things you never would have known otherwise. But there's also bad parts of it because it creates just sort of like this blind following sometimes where people are like just like, oh, I have to become this crazy successful person, or like I'm worthless because that's what these people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of has good and bad parts.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I think, I mean, I really like fashion and everything, so, like, looking at people that, you know, do always look cute on Instagram or whatever, like, it does, like, inspire me sometimes, and I'm like, oh, like, I like that outfit, and, like, I don't know, it inspires whatever I wear, but, like, it can also kind of do the opposite of where I feel like, oh, I don't have enough, like, I need to buy more clothes, or, like, I need to look better, or whatever, like fill in the blank. But so yeah, I feel, and it can connect us and like bring ideas together, and like there's all those cool things, but then it can also like make us feel worse about ourselves, or even make us feel like isolated. So, yeah.
Yeah, like the isolation part is like on point because like you could see like those influencers going everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're just like at home like, what am I doing? But then there's the good parts where it's like, oh, I could see all my friends still, I can look at the people I'm still in, like the influencers I'm interested in doing whatever they want, instead of like 20, 30 years ago where you would have to wait for a magazine to like do something with them in it. I agree.
Yeah, I got tired of it. Like I mentioned earlier, like I took it off. Just like seeing that, like the whole influence, like I don't know, like you said, you feel connected, like with like family or whatever, but at the same time I feel like you feel disconnected from it. It's like how the person uses like any social media, like seeing certain things from like certain people, like it's, I don't know, it's the way you take things, and I feel like with the social media, it's like how you use it. Like those influencers, like they used it, and now they're, it's like to their advantage, like you can just post whatever, get money. And there are like the followers, they're like the young kids who like don't know any better. I feel like we're like that good age group where we understand better. Like we know it's like, alright, this is like an app, like don't believe it type of thing. Like the younger, like you see the effects that it can like affect the younger people, but also like the positive effects it has on the older people, like connecting. But I feel like social media as a whole, like it just depends like how you use it or how you manipulate it, like to your advantage.
I think what he said about the blind following thing is really, really true, because there's little kids now that are saying that they want to be TikTok famous. Like that's literally the thing now. Like, what?
Instead of YouTube, it's moved on.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
to TikTok. Like,
And in like 3 years, everyone will be like, "What the hell was TikTok?" Like it's just like it's no one's
Yeah,
gonna
so-
remember it.
so they think they're gonna make their career off TikTok. There's other options, like you don't always have to go on YouTube or go on Instagram. Like
Yeah.
they're like blindly following the trends kind of thing. So they don't want to go to university because they think that,
They
oh, it's
can-
easy. Yeah, I could just TikTok. What? Make a video and I'm famous. Like,
Oh my gosh.
And
Okay.
then you just see like the dusty logo of Vine.
Background.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so how do you think social media would affect companies like GNC in 5 years from all that you guys have just talked about from social media?
I feel like if they were to have, like if they want to expand more, I feel like in this modern day and age, people like change really like a positive impact in a way. Instead of like them advertising themselves, it's like more like what they've done. I feel like with products, and like who follows them in that aspect, like who celebrities or like which people like agree with what they're doing, rather than just like, hey, buy this because I'm this person. Like, I feel like in that aspect it'll like benefit them. Other than that, I feel like everything's just redundant. Other than like, I think other kids or like older people don't see it as redundant, but like most people might
See
see
it
it like
as-
nothing new. It's just like another advertisement.
would be more like that like it would be more successful to use like GN whatever's account. Sorry, I'm tired today. Like making their own like ads if they wanted to.
I don't like there's like there's